Well, 28% tax on full face value for online gaming is already in place and not retrospectively a levy, says Revenue Secretary Mr. Sanjay Malhotra as he speaks to Shereen Bhan about the key amendment announced after the 50th GST Council meeting. Let's hear out what he had to say.
You said that the 18% GST on the gross gaming revenue, which is in effect at this point in time, is the interpretation of online gaming companies. Are we to understand then that these changes will apply retrospectively? So the 28% on full value will apply retrospectively?
That's why I said, that the rate has always been, to our mind, to our understanding and interpretation, also held, by our ASG, is that it is 28% on the full value, on this, not the GGR, but the full or the face value, as some people call it. And so it's basically a clarification. And so this is a
very important clarification.
And so it is already having effect as of date. And so there is no question of a retrospectivity, because it's already 28% on the face value. And we continue to charge that prospectively, this doubt no longer remains. That's the only difference.
You're saying that this is already in place. This is merely a clarification that has been issued by the GST Council by way of the decision taken last night. And of course, it will apply prospectively. But you do need to bring in the amendment to the law as well. Are you hopeful of being able to bring that through in the monsoon session of Parliament?
Yeah, so two things. One, that there is a court case which we lost, because of which the gaming companies are charging 18% on GGR, as you have mentioned. Yes. So we will be challenging that. So there is an SLP that we are planning to file in the Supreme Court. So that is one. So that takes care of the past period. Going forward, as you have mentioned, the Council has decided to amend the law, and we are hopeful that we will be able to bring it and get it through in the monsoon session.
Okay, so two important headlines. One, that the government intends to challenge that order, which is why gaming companies at this point in time have felt comfortable with the idea of an 18% GST on GGR. So the government intends to challenge that. How soon do you intend to do that?
Hopefully this month.
The response from the online gaming industry is, and I will just use some of the adjectives that they've used, that this is a crippling blow, this is a death knell, it's a body blow. It will make this industry viable. And the context in which this is coming is being questioned. They're saying that MeitY earlier this year had put out rules. In fact, I'm reading from the press release that had been issued by the government then, saying that we would like the online gaming ecosystem to expand and grow and be an important catalyst to India's $1 trillion digital economy goal by 2025-26. We envision a bigger role for startups in the online gaming industry. Now, the online gaming industry is saying, what happened to that vision? Because in light of the decision taken last night, they go on record to say that this business is no longer viable.
So two things, let me clarify. One, as I already mentioned, online games are, two kinds. One is, games played for stake, which are commonly also called as, real money games, and those without stakes. So it's not as if, online gaming industry should mean only, the games played for money or money online games. Secondly, also that the MeitY regulations also talk about permissible online games.
Correct.
Although we can always, have different regulations for the purposes, different laws for the purpose of regulating an industry. You're aware, for lottery, there is a separate law. Each state is, some states are having lottery, some states have banned it, some states are having lottery. Similarly, horse racing, some states are having horse racing clubs, some have not allowed it.
Yeah.
And there are regulations around it. But taxing is a separate law than regulation. So while the MeitY has regulations, and they have certain definitions, our definitions should be, and our attempt will be to align with them, but they can be different also. Nevertheless, their definition of permissible online games also mentions and has a condition that they have to be without wagering on outcomes.
Correct.
So if that is their definition, our understanding is that those involve games which are not, in the nature of having consideration of a receipt in kind or cash on outcomes.
Okay, so basically real money games. On the issue of retrospective action, and you intend to challenge this, and one will have to see, we cannot preempt the challenge and what transpires in court. But have you done an assessment of what the claims could be? Does the department have an...
Online games last year, 22-23, gave us a revenue of about 1,700 crore rupees to be precise. And in case we win, this figure can be, as high as 5 to 10 times.
As high?
As 5 to 10 times of the amount that we got.
Okay, so if you win...
Or even more.
Or if you win that challenge.
If we win that.
All right, so that was the Revenue Secretary speaking to Shereen Bhan.